I'm here with Matt Wright, one of the premier doubles professional pickleball players in the world. Thank you for your time today, Matt. And what do you think about strategically when you're on the court?
Yeah, so I tend to play the left side a lot. So I'm usually at my best if my partner can set me up and get me to the middle where I can start dictating play a little bit more. And I tend to speed up and try to be aggressive and really assert myself in the court. So that's when we're at our best as a team, I feel like.
Yeah, so this is the competitive edge segment. So that's your competitive edge, dictating play, speeding things up?
I think so. If I'm on my heels too much, that's probably not a good thing. It's probably better if I'm inserting myself both physically with my feet and my body as well as my shots and really trying to be the aggressor a little bit more. Of course, I battle myself all the time, just like a lot of players were on when to pull the string and when to speed up and when not. And a lot of times it backfires and you kind of go, you idiot, but it's something we all battle, yeah.
How do we prevent that from backfiring at the amateur level from people speed it up, yet it doesn't work out? What is your advice for the amateurs out there?
You know, what I try to tell a lot of amateurs is you really need to master the slow dink play before you can really even think about speeding up too much. Because if you master that shot, the dinks, and you gain more and more control over those dinks and you move them around, that's how you can create more openings in the court and then start being more aggressive because you created those holes. But if you can't do that, kind of as a baseline in your game, there's no point in speeding up too much because they'll be waiting for it and the other team's not on their heels.
What's your thought process when you're playing men's doubles versus, I know that you and Lucy Kovalova are one of the premier mixed doubles teams in pickleball. What's your different thought there?
Men's tends to be a little bit more of a slower pace, all right? The teams tend to be a little harder to attack, so you have to stay more disciplined and patient. Mixed, I think you'll see when you watch, the points are a little faster, and oftentimes the guy's trying to insert himself and the girl's trying to set him up. Now that's not an absolute, but that's kind of the rule of thumb. So I guess the punchline to your answer would be men's more patient, slow, mix is a little more fast and shorter points.
What are you working on to improve your game?
To improve my game right now, I would say I had never really played the right side very much in the first few years that I played pickleball, but I'm fortunate enough to team up with Ben Johns a decent amount. And when I play with him, he's so dominant from the left-hand side that it doesn't make sense for him not to be on the left. So I've just told him, hey, look, put me on the right. I'll try to be a little bit more of a rock and just rock solid and a backboard. And so that's what I continue to do, is just try to get a little bit better on that right side if I need to play over there.
Outstanding. I heard once that you don't eat much before you play.
I don't eat before I play. I don't eat all day, so I haven't eaten all day. Yeah, and it's what? It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't eaten yet, so yeah. I don't know. I can't. I feel like when I eat, I feel slower out there for some reason. So in some ways, that's a competitive advantage for you. That's a competitive advantage for me because when I eat too much, I just feel weighted down and slower. So I was the same way in tennis. Played tennis my whole life, and as a rule of thumb, I didn't eat all day.
After a great match?
I don't recommend that too much, by the way. I'm a little unique in that regard. So.
But you do stay hydrated?
I do stay hydrated with my Jigsaw products. I drink those throughout the day, and fingers crossed, I've never really had cramping issues, especially since I've gone to Jigsaw. So I'm fortunate. They support me. They've been a great sponsor and a great ambassador for the sport. And so yeah, I think I'm ready to go in this last one. And what do you love most about this game, pickleball? The people and the atmosphere. Probably. Tennis was a little bit more, I mean, I love tennis, don't get me wrong, but it was a little bit more of a cutthroat environment. Pickleball is a little bit more social and collaborative. Collaborative may not be the right word, but just more of a social and just more of a, I mean, look at where we are right now. It's more of a fun environment, festive. It really is. Yeah, yeah. After a great day of pickleball, win or lose, you haven't eaten all day, what's your go-to? I will, in terms of food, what's my go-to, or what do I do at the end of the day? Both. I'll probably be so exhausted at the end of the day, I'll just grab something quick and be boring and eat dinner in the hotel room and get ready to do it, you know, again tomorrow in mixed doubles with Lucy, so. What's your championship dinner? If we were to win the championship, Cheesecake Factory is my favorite restaurant. That's kind of my go-to because they have such a, you know, just a vast menu with a lot of good options, so that's my go-to. So if we were fortunate enough to win tomorrow night, I might go to Cheesecake with her. Yeah. We appreciate your time today on Inside World Pickleball, the competitive edge, continued success in your pickleball journey. Thank you very much. All right, thank you. It's good to be here.
It's time for the Engage Pickleball Tip of the Week with Senior Championship Pro Steve Kennedy.
Listen, we're going to talk a little bit about when do you drop and when do you drive. Okay, and we're talking about the third shot drop or third shot drive. I tell most of my students it's an easy decision. If you get a ball that is bouncing pocket high or higher, 9 times out of 10 you are going to drive that ball. Right? The other time when you can almost guarantee yourself a drive is when your feet get beyond the baseline and you're back in here. It's just too much distance to be working with a third shot drop, and it's not nearly going to give you enough time to get in. So if the ball is pocket level or higher, you're going to drive it. Now when I say drive, I don't mean that you get to knock the coloring off the ball. I mean that you get to hit the ball with some authority and a little bit of pace. Always find that when you decide how hard you want to hit it, find a pace that you feel comfortable with, that you could repeat it time after time after time. So you're going to come off your 100% and get into that 50–60% of your speed capability, right? So not too hard. So I want to demonstrate to you guys a little bit about when we should drop and when we should drive. So Lee's going to hit some volleys, and if I get a ball that's up a little higher, I'm going to drive it, and if it's down a little bit lower, you're going to see me work on my third shot drop. Ready, Lee? Good. And as you see there, guys, it's tempting to want to hit them all, but there's going to be a lot of shots in there that got down too low. And if I get way down in here and I drive this ball, that ball's trajectory will be moving up. And the smarter player is going to recognize that if you drive a low ball and you're driving it up, it's going to go out. So hence is why we want to go into the third shot drop and neutralize our opponent on that shot. Really work diligently on your third shot drop. It's a very important shot. When to use them? Again, we talked about that, so pick the right time for the drive versus the drop, vice versa. I want to give you all just one more other suggestion, is we very rarely put 2 drives together. If you're not in behind a drop or a drive, you've probably made a mistake. All right, so work on your drops and drives, and let's see if we can improve that stroke.
And that's a wrap for the week at the PPA Atlanta Open, as the pandemic is easing and the pickleballs were flying, with increased spectators enjoying the fastest growing sport in America, pickleball.